Hi everybody, this is Dom and welcome to Raising the Barber. Before we start, please subscribe and hit the button so you don't lose anything of it. Our new guest is Alfie Aukett. Alfie is the owner of Next Door Records. He started during COVID with some friends and he took over this shop and he made it one of the best places to listen to some music, to enjoy new labels. His love for music made him think they could make more with it. So during COVID, he opened his first shop and now he opened the second one in Stoke Newington. It's a vibrant place made of people that love the community and have a great time together. So don't forget to like, stick with us, and let's go.
Yo, listen to this, it's Raising the Barber, cut dip, talk shop, no ribbon.
How are you today?
Very well, thanks. And yourself?
I'm very good. Busy day, but things are very good today.
Good.
Now, voila. What do we do today? What can I help you?
Well, I kind of haven't changed the way my hairstyle in a very long time, and I think it does work, but it's not short back and sides, but the back, they are slightly shorter.
All right.
What happened, what we did last time. So what did we do there?
So yeah, we went down to, a couple of inches off on the sides and the back. We kept working on basically the waist that you have at the back here, which is a lot. Yeah. And obviously now it's been a couple of months. I guess we need to go a bit shorter.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the thing, I want to stay away from being too smart.
All right.
I quite like it looking a bit scruffy still.
Yep.
But especially when it gets hotter, I don't want it to be as thick and hot on my head.
All right.
So shortening it a bit without it looking too smart would be great.
I understand. So we keep the scruffy look by taking easily taking about this off.
Cool.
And then we work with the weight, especially here. So I'm gonna give you some layers, but still thin out. I don't want to get rid of the curls because they're so beautiful. So we're gonna keep them here. And then we're gonna clean a bit around the edges, and yeah,
cool.
We can do it.
Sweet.
Let's go. Please, my friend.
Nice.
And
very smooth.
You wanted to reach that. And
I was about to. Yeah.
Voila. First question, where are you from?
I'm from Southwest London.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
It's called Surbiton.
Surbiton.
That's where I grew up. Very boring suburban town on the edge of London. But don't really have too much of an interesting heritage. My mum's dad is Ukrainian.
Okay.
But everyone else is very English.
So you grew up in a traditional English family.
Yeah.
And how come you decided to move to London?
I was always kind of quite close to London. I grew up in Zone 6, so from sort of 13, 14, I would get the train into sort of London Waterloo and sort of got a feel for it there, I guess. I guess another part of it is always being quite keen on music and knowing that London's quite an important city musically, historically, and just, I guess, moving forward in the industry. If you're doing music in the UK, London's sort of the center point of it.
Is it? Still nowadays?
Yeah, in terms of all the labels are here, all that not everyone, but the majority of it all happens here.
So you started in music. You were like, okay, I want to make music, and you started with it, or you were I don't know what to do in life.
From about 8 years old, I've kind of was always been music as the main thing.
All right.
Studied music at university for 4 years in the north of England, and that was focusing on sort of classical singing and the academic study of music.
So proper high school or university?
University. Yeah. 5 years of university up in Leeds, which was cool.
That's how was university compared to what you do now, or what you wanted to do?
It was interesting. You realise that although university there was work, you also had a lot of free time. So in those sort of free periods, I'd be spending it so much sort of like making music, performing, writing music, etc., etc. And it was sort of in that period that I actually got picked up by sort of a management company. They didn't sign me then. They only signed me recently. But
Really, do they? Oh.
but they sort of mentored me from being sort of like a kid who could play instruments to sort of someone who could actually make music in the industry, sort of thing, professionally.
And I was starting making music when you were skilled enough. What was the switch? You know, you start learning and blah blah blah. You feel like
so when I was about 8, I started learning guitar, and we found in the local music shop, found sort of on the pinboard, guitar teacher for any skill set. So we picked one of those off from the music shop and called this guy, and he ended up being sort of my guitar teacher for sort of like 10 years. And instead of it being like a proper like lesson, he would show me how to produce a song and then just solo over it on the guitar. And so his dad was the producer of all of the Police records. So he was like a really good producer already. And he was like, this is how you do this is how you put drums together, etc., etc. Now solo on the guitar. And that's kind of like that was like the biggest sort of like change in my musical career.
It was a lucky peak basically, because you know how many teachers I've learned
lucky.
Guitar. My teacher was far away from like having this great idea.
Yeah, totally. It's super rare, and so grateful to him.
Wow.
He's still a very, very close friend, which is just nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I owe a lot to him.
Is now your business related to your label as well? I imagine you have a label, right?
Yeah, so I'm published by Universal Records.
Oh, right. Okay.
A lot of the artists that are in there, they use the business that I run now as like a place to like launch their albums, do performances, we sell their records, etc., etc.
So it's like a community.
Massively, yeah.
Wow. How many guys you have working, like playing in your place? Because let's remind people, what's your business?
So my business is Next Door Records. It's a record shop, bar, cafe, venue, community workspace. We've got one over in West London in Shepherd's Bush, and then one in Stoke Newington in North London.
Finally,
East
I can
London.
say to you, congrats. Personally,
thanks.
because we kept texting, but congrats for that new opening.
I appreciate it, man.
That's
It was a crazy old time getting that place open.
Was it?
Well, yeah, we tried to do a lot of the work ourselves. There's 3 of us that run it, and we bit off a bit more than we could chew. We had to get some people to come help us, but it was good. It was very good.
Is so you were talking about like the number of people who play in your venue.
Yes.
Are they all Are they like friends or like part of the Universal, or you can choose whoever you want to play?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything now. So it started off being sort of calling friends of mine, friends of all the other directors, calling our friends, being like, hey, do you want to come down and do a gig for us? We'll know that they'll sort of we'll know that they'll sort of fill out the space, so make the place look cool, make it feel good, etc., etc. And it started out that way, and then now it's got to a point where there's a real mix of us finding people coming to us,
That's beautiful.
promoters coming saying, hey, we want to use the space to work with you to do this, which is really cool. So yeah, it's a lot more open plan, free flowing. Yeah.
What kind of music in general?
Really big mix of stuff. So we have a lot of sort of DJ focused stuff, from sort of club ready stuff like house techno, UK garage, etc. But it spans all the way across to sort of disco, funk, left field, ambient, reggae, jazz, hip hop. We've got quite a broad variety, but it's all the stuff that we really, really are into out of the 3 of us. Luckily, because there's 3 of us.
All 3 of you in music?
Yeah, all 3 of us in music. We've been able to sort of curate a really broad but like a nice identity at the same time.
That's great. It's is definitely working with friends as well. How is it working with friends?
It's tough, but it's actually really, I think I've lucked out because I've done it with my oldest friend. So he's basically like a sibling. So we can have a serious disagreement and it not destroy our friendship, because he's such an old friend. It's like family. And then the other guy, I was in a band with him actually when we were from like 18 to 22. And interestingly, he's just like family as well. So it's now we're at that point where we can really not agree with each other and have quite a big argument, but still go out for dinner afterwards, which is good.
No, that's good. It's good. It's good to know. You know, I mean, know to have someone you can trust in, even if you argue.
Yeah, totally.
He's always going to back you.
Exactly.
That's crucial. This label, this venue.
Yes.
How did it all happen?
It all came out of COVID. So in 2020, in COVID, I was still at university, and the lockdown rules started coming into play. Yeah. So I was living up in the north of England in Leeds in March 2020, and that's kind of when I was like, right, you know what? I'm going to move back home, get out of the north before COVID lockdown restrictions get even worse. So moved back home, and whilst that was happening, as did my now business partner, he was living in a music venue. His family run a music venue that's been going for sort of like 25 years. He grew up in the venue, but he was living in the venue for the COVID period. So I started sort of cycling over to the venue, which is in Shepherd's Bush, and sort of realised that it was a lot of fun being in the venue, et cetera, in a period where you weren't really allowed to do much. You could go out and do exercise, that was sort of it. So I'd sort of cycle over, see them from a distance. We started talking about stuff, and I was selling records out of my bedroom, sort of selling. People would message me on Facebook Messenger. They'd PayPal me some cash and I'd send them records, sort of thing. So I sort of already had this sort of little record selling business going. And next door to the venue was the venue's restaurant, and they were planning on closing that restaurant for COVID to sell the property. They were like, right, it's a perfect time to sort of move on. And we sort of jumped in and said, hey, could we sell alcohol on your bar if I could sell my records and I can keep all the profits from my records? And they were like, yeah, cool, let's try that.
Fair enough. Started
working. We were sort of selling beers out the front door and records out the front door. No one was allowed inside. It worked kind of well. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. So I sat down with the family that owned the venue and basically said, this is working quite well. Can you become our landlords? Can we start from scratch as our own business? And yeah, that was kind of how it all started.
So you basically went through COVID. COVID was not absolutely something that stopped you from thinking about a business?
The whole period of COVID. So we opened in August 2020. So like proper summer, COVID summer. Throughout that period, they had loads of changes in the rules. So because we had a bar to sell alcohol, we were allowed to do certain things, but not others. So we had like this period where you had to have food with your alcohol if you were drinking. So because we used to be a restaurant, there was a kitchen out the back. So we would get guest chefs to take over the kitchen, serve food to the people coming to see the DJs play or see the gigs. So we had this, it sort of kept changing the way in which we operated to fit the COVID rules. But now looking back at it, it's definitely made us what we are now, made it this like multifaceted, community-driven music space, which is great.
Well, unbelievable. This is definitely like one of our generation's idea. Most of the sounds of businesses are set in a way, right? You want to open a cafe, you want to open a a regular like a
Record
record
shop,
shop or whatever,
bar,
you
yeah.
never mix things up.
Totally.
But this is a new way to see a business, to be honest. That's why I was so curious, and I said to you, okay, let's have a chat. Also because also because of your age, because you're probably younger than how old are you now?
26.
So you're 26 years old.
Yeah.
And you had the brilliant idea to have something like this, which is absolutely like banging, I would say. It's so good, really.
It's a lot, yeah. It's a lot of work, but it's
a lot of work, definitely a lot.
It is good. It is really, really
I
good.
see for the amount of time we tried to meet up. It was impossible.
that was probably the worst period that it could have been.
Was it? Yeah.
Usually I have a bit of time, whereas from February to now, I have had no days off. This was like my first weekend off, which was so nice.
How was the story at Newton? How's he going over there?
You know what? It's amazing. I think so. We've built a bit of a social media presence. So people in London have sort of heard of us now, which is an amazing thing in itself. But because of the first one being in West London, everyone over in East London just hasn't wanted to travel to West. So now that we've opened, it's been this really positive response where everyone's sort of come to the bar being like, hey, been following you guys on Instagram. Couldn't never wanted to come to West London. It was just a bit too far, but so glad you've opened up, blah, 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 blah. Which is nice. But yeah, very, very positive response in Stoke Newington, which is cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm happy for you guys.
Nice one.
What's your next step?
Maybe Amsterdam.
Really? Oh, wow.
Amsterdam have got it on lock. They've got these really, really good bars that have great DJs, etc., etc. But the live element I've not experienced yet in Amsterdam. I don't really know in the sort of a smaller context what's going on there live wise. And having this, so we sort of cross over between DJs and live music, and I think bringing that there would hopefully work quite well.
How would you manage? I have no idea. How would you manage to move back and forth?
Eurostar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got that far ahead yet. But I think, to be honest, one of the three of us had said he'd move over there.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the way he sacrifices.
Exactly. One of us has to do it.
Yeah, has to go. That's great.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know how soon that will be. We need to let this one sort of cool down first, the new one.
That's it. How hard was to open this one then?
It wasn't like impossible to open it. It just was learning how to sort of tape and joint walls and build bars and plumb and stuff.
So you guys don't do everything yourself?
We had help from friends who, a friend of ours is an electrician.
All right.
And he helped us with all the electrics, which we would never have been able to do. But a lot of the work we did do ourselves. We had some great people helping us as well. We brought family in a lot of the time.
Oh yeah?
Help with painting, and lots of friends came in the evenings after work and we'd buy them dinner. Loads of pizzas, loads of beers, and just paint the place or sweep or... Beautiful. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You
can say that, you act like a people's kitchen, but in music, in a way. You help the community to gather together.
Massively.
Between friends, and it's fascinating how people get together for one thing. Maybe it's you, maybe it's the guys, your friends, but in a way, you guys are charismatic enough, you have the good energy, having a good energy is crucial for such a business.
Oh, totally. I guess that's at the moment, or for the last 4 years since we started this, we've realized how sort of hyperactive all of us are. We never want to stop. Whenever there's an opportunity to do something or make something cool or whatever, we'll sort of jump at it as quick as we can. So yeah, I think that's kind of played to a big part as to why it's worked.
Obviously, you started very early, right?
Yeah.
So you have still lots of energy.
Yeah.
But what if you tomorrow realize that you should have someone literally that you want to just want to relax a second? What happens if the brand is you guys? Yeah. Have you thought about that? Probably not yet.
Yeah. You know what? I've thought about it would be nice to take a break, but I would never. But the problem is, whenever I've taken a break, even when it's just a week away, I don't want to stop. So like I'd go, I don't know, anywhere away from London for a week. And even within like a couple of days, I'll be back sort of like trying to figure out what to do here, or like organize a cool gig or write some music or something. Can never, I don't think any of us can just chill. We'll always have to have something on our minds. For now, anyway.
Oh, but for now, anyway, obviously, then probably with the third and the fourth shop, it's only 3 of you. So it must be something else too. That's what I mean. That's what I hope for you guys, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, we've got a great team who do run the place.
Oh yeah.
Both spaces. Yeah, they really know what they're doing, which is great. So we're less hands-on behind the bar now, which is great. Still love coming in and like doing the occasional evenings, chat to people, etc. But there's sort of a freelance / part-time team of 38 people across both sites now.
Wow,
which is great. And they're all in music or actors, or they're all people who sort of are trying to sort of make it big in something artistic or creative and need a place. The great thing is obviously we pay them to do the work, but it's such a great place to meet people. So they're getting amazing networking at the same time, which is really cool.
That's definitely one of the main things of having such a great business, because you have music. People will gather because they're passionate about music. So maybe new bands can build up together.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. Have you had any chance to meet anybody like big in this industry?
Yeah. Quite a few, to be fair. We've had a big mix of people. People that I now call quite good friends. I met through just them coming to the record shop and us getting chatting. So big touring DJ called SG Lewis. He's currently doing an Asia tour, actually. But DJ and musician, he does a lot of live performance with a sort of a small band as well. But met him because he used to live over the road. Used to come buy wine from us, buy some records, and we just got chatting, and I've got a really good relationship now, which is nice. But also people like the lead singer of Pulp, the band,
really?
Jarvis Cocker. He lives around the corner, so sort of built a good relationship with him. Lewis Capaldi's come in a couple of times for a coffee.
No way.
Yeah, there's this really nice, I guess because it's not just a cafe or just a bar, it draws in the sort of the musicians, because they can dig for records, because it's slightly sort of more interesting than, I guess, just a coffee or a beer, which is nice.
Now, this is a technical question. How do you state a record is I don't know, is 100% real, or like, how do you choose your record? How do you guys buy your records in order to sell them? Yeah,
it's a bit of a mix. So we have accounts with distributors.
Okay.
So these distributors are basically like wholesalers, suppliers. They email us all the upcoming releases that they have from their factory.
All right.
And we buy them off them at wholesale price in order to sell them at retail. So anything that's sort of a new up and coming release, we'll know about beforehand. Put it on our website so you can pre-order it, or come into the shop and buy it, etc., etc. So that's the new release side of things. And then the other side of things is we have a mixture of. We have some really good collections in sort of the sort of vintage collection world. So we'll have sort of go-to people that will be able to source certain records for us, or be able to pick up like big collections, etc., etc. We have this one 95-year-old dude who gets sort of every 2 weeks gets a big shipment from America, and they're all sort of like 50s to 70s funk, soul, disco, blues, and jazz. But they're all really amazing condition and all straight from the US. So that's a really good connection. Except like we have another guy from Nigeria. He sells us sort of like bundles of classic like Nigerian and Ghanaian pressings of records, of like classic African records, which is amazing.
Wow.
They're really beaten up, but they are just amazing. But yeah, so we have a big mix. And then we also have people who come to us. They'll come to the shop and say, hey, I've got this in my attic. I need to get rid of it. What would you buy it off me for, sort of thing?
How profitable can be selling labels?
So
in a way, like I don't want to talk about numbers because I don't like numbers.
yeah.
But like in a way, you feel like tomorrow I want to open a record shop. Yeah, like what's obviously I'm an expert, so I don't get scammed.
Yeah.
But what's the margin of it? Like how can you like feel like okay I can make a living out of it?
It's a tough one. I think a lot of record shops that are purely record shops, they make the margins that make it worthwhile for them from secondhand. Because when you get secondhand, you can buy for really cheap, and if it's a rare record, sell it for loads. Whereas the new releases, the margins are really, really small, and you need to be selling loads to really make it worthwhile in comparison to things like alcohol or coffee, where the margins are really, really high. In like the sort of, I guess, the customer to that sort of like first, well, I don't even know what it's called, like the primary selling, whatever it's called.
No worries. That's what I like, man. You just know what to do, but you know, you do it naturally.
Yeah. Well,
have you done any business at school or something like this? Have you done anything?
Nothing like that. I did economics when I was 17, 18 at school, and that was it. But like no business experience really. Like we've made loads of mistakes on the way, like loads.
Like what was the one of the mistakes that you can remember?
We started the business on my personal bank account and soon decided that was a really bad idea. So we sort of went legit. But things like that where like we came sort of straight out of university and we're like, let's just see what happens. And it sort of took off in a way where it actually became very serious very quickly. And we're like, oh crap, that we actually need to do this. And maybe we should get an accountant. Maybe we aren't good at doing this or that, etc. But yeah, it's been a lot of learning, which has been really, really cool.
That was definitely tough at the end of the year.
Horrible.
Oh my goodness. But you know, it happens. I mean, like it's part of, as you said, you know, no experience. You weren't expecting this to be this big.
Yeah,
fast.
Exactly. And you know what? I wouldn't change the way it all happened. I think even if I went to like a business school and I probably had like a bit more knowledge, I don't think it really would have changed how I did things anyway. There's an element of like, it all was so organic and like not majorly planned and sort of fell into place that it wouldn't have been much different otherwise.
That's great. So no regrets?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. Not yet anyway.
Not yet, yeah. You're like now, how many years? It's like 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years
4 years in
now.
the business.
Yeah.
4 years in the business. That's great. Have you done any collaboration with the biggest other venues in central London? Have you thought about doing a bit of like cross promotion?
We have done some collaborations with like a mixture of like music side of things and like food, or we've done a lot of collaborations on the food side of things.
Food, what like?
So because we have a kitchen in the space, we open up. At the moment, we're doing pizzas, but we had a period where we'd monthly rotate guest chefs to take over the kitchen, serve food, do like big events with other people, etc. And we've had people like a guy called White Russian who now runs his own restaurant, Russians. We've had, to be honest, like a lot of the things that are like quite exciting in the London food scene, a lot of them have, or like in the street food scene / sort of like not major fine dining, but sort of the cool up and coming sort of stuff. A lot of them have come through our shop, which is really cool. This guy called Bad Boys Pizzas, who did 6 months with us. They now have 4 sites in London. Taco Collective started with us doing tacos, now have 2 sites in London. Dough Hands is like an all-woman-led London-style pizza, really, really good. She's now running like a really, really sought-after pub, like pizza space in a pub that everyone wants to go and try. Trying to think what else. Loads. We've got this couple who used to do a supper club with us. So one Wednesday a month, they'd sell tickets. We'd do like 3 courses. We would do the wine and the music and they would do the food. They now do sort of like loads of recipe writing, and it's really, really amazing to see how it's all sort of like
It's a whole world
flourished, and it's amazing. And then I guess on the music side, collaborations wise, we've done stuff with our sort of next door venue, Bush Hall, is a beautiful sort of Edwardian 400 capacity venue. And we did a festival last summer across, actually in the whole community of Shepherd's Bush. So we did 8 stages one day, all along the Uxbridge Road on Shepherd's Bush. So Uxbridge Road is like a really long road, but from the Big Green to Bush Hall, we did 8 different stages, inside and outside, within venues, outside on the terraces, etc., etc.
Is it going to happen again?
I really hope so. We had some unreal artists, some like really, really big artists come and play. Had like multiple thousand through the door. And it was amazing. On that day, you'd be able to walk on the road and everyone would have a wristband and they'd be jumping from we turned a church into a 300 capacity venue. We had the theatre. They had this big outdoor terrace space. We put like a big sound system. It was like a proper rave. We had like a roof terrace, like 60-person hidden away party, loads going on. It was crazy.
Was your guys' idea?
It was our festival.
way.
It was crazy. It was so good. But we're waiting to try and do it with the Arts Council, the charity, to see if we can get help with funding for it this time, because it was a very costly thing.
Obviously, I mean,
it was worth it, but it was, not something we could keep repeating financially.
Obviously. Can imagine. Was bleeding? Bank account, was it bleeding?
It wasn't. I definitely want to do it again, but if we can figure out a way of making the tickets more expensive or getting smaller artists, I don't know, whatever.
I understand. No, because at the end of the day, I mean, I can imagine that too. Probably the best thing is like you show people that you can do it.
Exactly.
You can have fun in a way that nobody has done, like in West London.
Exactly. That's sort of other than Carnival. No one could beat Carnival. Carnival here in Notting Hill, you can't beat.
Carnival is unbeatable.
But that's a different gravy. That's crazy in comparison.
Do you go to Carnival?
I do. Yeah, I do go.
You do it.
Yeah. Have you been?
Obviously. You have to. It's part of the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I can see my clients in a different way. Definitely on a different level.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but I like it a lot.
Do you use this space at all in
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really, but maybe. We are working for you.
Be cool space for a party.
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
Carnival.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
See, always thinking about it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I need to ask my boss if we can make it. But probably I need to make a nice plan. He has to say yes or no.
Yeah.
But could be nice. Could be nice, really. We have a fairly good sound system.
Cool.
It could happen. Yeah, that'd be amazing. So you said this brought also the food industry to have to flourish, as you said, right?
Yeah. It's just like this amazing. Like the collaborations just spanned across music, food.
But you said you make pizzas.
At the moment, we're doing like New York style, London style pizza.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a Rome style pizza.
Okay.
With a slightly more interesting dough than an American style pizza. Like no sugar in it. Like a good dough. Thin and crispy still, like a Roman style pizza.
A Romana.
Exactly. But covered with Parmesan, loads of fresh basil. Usually like a hot honey. So you do like an andouille with a hot honey, things like that. Do like a really nice fennel sausage, lemon zest, sage. That's a good one.
I want to try that.
Some good ones.
I have to come and try it. I'll see you on Saturday, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm a Napolitan pizza lover because I'm from Naples.
Yeah, you have to.
So I have high standards, but obviously I can approve it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I want to try it now. Made me hungry.
Yeah, it's definitely very different. Neapolitan.
I mean, like, have you tried Napoli? Have you been to Napoli?
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you think about Napoli?
I love Napoli, man. It's like the nightlife is crazy.
Is it? Yeah.
It doesn't stop. I arrived at midnight and I had my suitcase and I didn't actually like get into anywhere until like 6 a.m. or something crazy. But everyone's just out on the street drinking, chatting. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, food there is great.
Well, we start partying from midnight, so we go out. So
exactly.
I'm telling you, we have dinner at 9 sometimes, and then slowly, when everyone, we don't plan things.
No, exactly.
We don't plan
just go with the
things.
flow.
We just text anybody. So you guys are ready to go out? We go out somewhere. We see somewhere in a place, and then maybe we don't even stay there. So by the time we really have a drink. Midnight, 1 until 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
Easy.
exactly.
And then that's why I realized that I'm moving into London, and maybe it's gonna changing in Italy as well, in Napoli. They say nightlife in London is different from Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, but Saturday is already like empty on the streets, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the morning. While in Napoli is like never sleeping. It's never sleeping. Especially on a Saturday, it's just non-stop. The day after, you want to have a ragu at home with your mom, so you need to wake up like a midday,
Yeah.
And then your father is gonna say, "Oh man, but he's still sleeping." And your mom is gonna say, "He's been working, he's been dancing the whole night. Just let him sleep." You know what I mean? So you're ready for your ragu for breakfast. Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful time. Yeah, so I'm glad you like Napoli, because otherwise I was shaving your head off. And that's great. What do you think about the haircut? What do you think? Any shorter?
Oh, it's cool. Nice.
I see I kept a good texture.
Yeah. No, it feels really good, man.
Yeah. I want to show you the back. Where is it? Is it? Oh, voila.
Yeah, nice.
See what I mean?
Super nice, man.
Yeah, nice and clean all around. For today, I'll be using a sea salt spray. It's going to give you a good texture. It's going to help your hair to curl. As you say, you won't have a messy style. So what I recommend you is to try the sea salt spray in your hair. Yeah. And then we're going to try a bit with the diffuser, but keep it a bit damp. So it's going to help you to curl.
Sweet.
Yeah?
Man. Sounds good. I think I've actually got this sea salt spray.
You got it, yeah?
Yeah.
This is, you got the same method. When you go to the beach in Napoli, the same. You go out, you have like
yeah, exactly.
sea salt hair. Yeah. Perfetto. Just a bit here. Voila. What I recommend every time, if you have curly hair, you just, rub it in a bit, so you help the sea salt spray to go.
Okay, cool.
To spread thoroughly. Voila, mon ami.
Perfect. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much for your presence today. Grazie mille. See you soon, yeah?
Always keep on going because you are your future.